For more information, call 718-398-1766. That's 718-398-1766.
Friday night into Saturday morning, 3 to 5 a.m. Explore the interrelated relationships linking music, theater, sociology, liturgy, theology, and professional wrestling. That's Friday night or Saturday morning, depending on whether you stay up or get up. 3 to 5 a.m. on 99.5 FM, commercial-free WBAI in New York City. I'm Frederick Ginold. Listen to a light show.
And you're listening to radio. Yeah, feel free to just continue your conversations. No problem here. We're just running a radio station. You're listening to radio station WBAI. In case you haven't figured that out by now, and while I stall for time while the cart machine queues up, it's time once again for Off the Hook.
The telephone keeps ringing, so I ripped it off the wall. Cut myself while shaving, now I can't make a call. Couldn't get much worse, but if they could, they would. On Billy Bones was the best respectful words. I hope that's understood from Billy Bones.
I like to think of that as the sound of bureaucracy run amok, you know? Going someplace you're not supposed to go. Dialing something you're not supposed to dial. Saying something you're not supposed to say. Now picture that noise 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 13 months, and that's pretty much what this place has been like. But now we're back to somewhat normal levels, as normal as a place like this can be, and that's not too normal, but it's good enough because a little mayhem and chaos is what we strive for, and we seem to be accomplishing that. Mike, you're back.
I'm back. I was back last week.
Well, I was back last week too, but you're back this week, and that's what we're talking about. We don't live in the past; we live in the present.
Right.
We must look forward to the future, thinking of the past. Using hindsight, but always one foot in front of the other. Eyes straight forward.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So what we're going to do for the first couple of minutes anyway, before we start adding in a couple of other people and taking phone calls and updating folks on exciting news and things like that, we're going to relive a little bit of history.
I thought we were moving forward.
Well, yes, but we're reliving it in the future. We haven't even done that yet.
All right.
Let's not talk about the past. Let's talk about the future. What we're going to be doing in a moment is thinking back at something that happened a year ago, which, don't give me that look, which it was almost exactly a year ago, in fact. It was quite a night here at the radio station. I don't know why these things always happen on Tuesday nights, but they do. It was the attempted meeting of the local advisory board. Now, for those who don't know, this is a non-commercial radio station, and we have a local advisory board made up of producers, listeners, all kinds of people who, in theory, are supposed to advise the radio station on the direction it goes. After all, we are listener-supported. Listeners are what keep us alive. Well, not alive, but, the station. It keeps the station on the air, keeps the programs coming, keeps the people coming back because it's the place to come back to. So last year the thought was despite the management changes that took place in December 2000, the meeting should continue to be held at the radio station. And, well, that didn't exactly go too well, because when people showed up for the meeting, they were met by police, they were met by security guards, they were met by our own staff people here that would not let them in. And 2 people, I believe, were arrested. And it was mayhem. And it happened during our show. We covered it live, and we got yelled at pretty severely for doing that, but it was happening literally in front of my eyes, and I could not ignore it. So tonight, a year later, the whole thing is happening again. It's not that they have meetings once a year. They have meetings once a month, I think. But this just happens to be the first meeting that actually has been allowed back in the radio station. So what we're going to do is give you a call. Not like that one, not. Hang on. Okay, let's try this one. That's better. Okay, we're going to give you a call. And hopefully the service that you have won't mess up too badly. Let us know when that phone rings. Okay, the phone is staring us in the face. It's ringing at my end. This is a good example of how Sprint doesn't ring the phone when it rings on the other end. 2 rings on my end, none on your end.
Don't be silly. And I'm sitting here, my phone has service.
3 rings. And we have yet to have an actual ring from the phone. 4 rings. It's going to go to voicemail. 4 rings. This happens all the time when I call people on Sprint. Look, your voicemail. Your voicemail. Your phone's sitting right here, and I can't call it.
No. Send a numeric page. Press 2 now.
All right, this is the evidence that we've needed for a while. That Sprint really sucks.
Record your voice message. When you are finished recording, you may hang up or press pound for more options.
You know, her instructions are about 4 times longer than your greeting. But this is a message I'm leaving to you now, Mike, so that you would pick up your phone when I call you next time, and it'd be funny if it actually notifies you while you're sitting here when you can't make a phone call or get a phone call. I'm going to hang up.
I could make a phone call. I have service.
Yeah, you have. Well, technically you have service.
I have these funky little bars on the left.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Those just might be pasted on. All right, let me try it again. All right. You know, I was speaking on, passing through mountains in Norway on my GSM phone. No problems. Here we are in the middle of New York City. We can't even make a phone call to a cell phone that we're right next to. We had the same problem with Bernie S. A couple of weeks ago. He moved a few feet, and the signal disappeared.
I'll try moving my phone to my other hand, see if that helps.
If that fails, there we go. Oh, what kind of a ring is that?
I don't know.
All right.
It normally doesn't ring.
Pick the thing up.
All right.
Hello.
Okay, there you are. Now, hopefully you can hold the signal as you walk through the corridors of power here. As we like to.
I have voicemail, too.
You have new voicemail. I wonder what that's all about.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to turn down your microphone so it doesn't sound too time travel-y. And now I'm going to instruct you to stand up and walk through the door and down the corridors of power towards the meeting, which is about as far away from us as you can get. And this is a historical moment because not only is it reliving history, but it is the first local advisory board meeting to be held at this facility in over a year. And a lot of people are here. And you're getting closer, Mike? You still with us?
Getting closer.
Okay, good. And it's really it's a changed atmosphere here. Instead of having the door locked, the door is propped open with a cardboard box, and I think that sort of symbolizes what BAI stands for.
There's no one outside in the hallways yelling or anything like that.
No police, no threats, no demonstrations, no posters and signs and chanting.
I know there's people inside meeting.
How's the walk going? Are you almost down the hallway?
Yeah.
Okay. I believe Errol was going to meet you down there. I'm not sure if he's there right now.
I don't know. Anyone seen Errol? All right, he's here.
Okay.
And we're inside the meeting right now.
Okay, you might want to just tell somebody that we're live on the radio at the local advisory board meeting, just for a few moments anyway, just so people can realize this moment.
Errol, we're here live on the radio.
And welcome, also listeners, to the WBAI lab meeting.
and Frida Zane.
Years ago, we had a program called Bread and Roses. Every day there was a different, and you could be on once a month or twice a month, or even every week. But it depended on the group, what they could handle. That way we got lots, and it was the same time of the day. We got lots of groups on in a very, not a lot of time, because it was 1 hour a day. So it's just a suggestion that we go back to something like that. And that way we could get groups who can do what they can do, different groups.
Well, I can certainly see how such a discussion a year ago could have threatened the security of the radio station and caused all kinds of mayhem.
And our members can come out with some kind of resolution right now.
And this was a public comment session that was taking place on programming here at the first LAD board meeting since the board was arrested trying to hold the meeting at the station Miguel Maldonado Church, the board speaking.
Errol, can you hear me, Errol?
To improve a campaign and to increase the membership of WBAI, we will develop a campaign on that, which is a very ambitious project when we're talking about that campaign, because it will include a lot of work, and we need no less than probably 100 people, or if we can just start from there. And the other, and we will call in the lab to create a committee to come out with a campaign to increase the membership of WBAI. The other committee will be in reference to the fundraising and the creation of a folio. And that will be some people already like to put that together. And that would include doing an event, for instance, going back to Seattle for the New City with the WBAI holiday event to raise the money to come out with a folio. That would include a lot of people working.
Okay, we're going to cut away from the meeting and come back to the studios, but we just wanted to let people know the meeting is going on.
So that would be the three things that we will...
No police, no violence, no madness, just a bunch of concerned people here at the radio station.
Okay. 1 second, let me just give you a concentrate in the lab of honey and Ray.
Okay, we have, must be about 100, maybe 200 people in that room, and all crammed in there talking about radio, and that's really what this place is all about. Thanks again to everybody who helped us through the last 13 months and stayed with us. And we will be needing your help in the future, certainly, to keep this place going and to recover from the things that have been happening. But I got to tell you, listening to the station over the past week or so, I was absolutely riveted to the dial, especially on Saturday. Just non-stop programming. It just was so interesting and so heart-wrenching. Having people coming back to the station after not being here for so long, and just hearing the reaction from the audience and from all kinds of people that just came in and talked about their experiences over the last year or so. It's great to have the place back in this spirit. All right, hopefully Mike will realize that we're no longer broadcasting from down the hall. We are broadcasting now from the studio, and we have all kinds of important things to do, including we're going to try and get Bernie S. on the phone. Let's see if we can do this. All right. Of course, Bernie does have a Sprint phone as well, so we might have the same problems that we had reaching Mike in the same room. Let's see what happens.
Hello.
Okay, that's a live person. That's not a recording, right?
Not my voicemail. It took you heard 2 rings.
I heard 2 rings. How'd you know that? Wow. You're psychic.
You heard 2 rings.
I heard 2 rings.
And I picked up at the first sound, or the first peep out of my Sprint PCS phone. But we should probably differentiate between Sprint and Sprint PCS.
Why? They're the same company, aren't they?
It's the same company, but you could say Sprint sucks. More accurately, you could say Sprint PCS sucks, which is their wireless division.
Well, how about we stop saying Sprint sucks when they maybe rename it to something else, and then they'll take their name off of it out of shame.
Sprint PCS.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Sprint PCS is really...
company.
Sorry, Mike's back.
Yeah, for the record, while I was walking down the hallway in this building, I did not hang up. My phone decided to lose service.
No, I hung up on you because we had to break away from the meeting. Fascinating as it is, this is a program about technology, hacking, and telephones and things like that. So I don't know why that phone's ringing in the background, but when you do radio, you don't answer phones, except when they're on the air.
Right.
I don't know if you guys heard the exciting news, but we have a showing of Freedom Downtime at a New York City film festival known as the New York International Independent Film and Video Festival. It's quite a mouthful, but from what I understand, there's a lot of good films showing at this thing. And in fact, this is probably the biggest showing of our documentary, perhaps with the exception of the H2K conference. But this is actually being shown in a real theater. A real theater. The Sutton One Theater, located at 205 East 57th Street by 3rd Avenue. I mean, those are, real streets, real avenues. It's not like in the back room. So that's a theater, theater-style seating and everything. Popcorn, Ushers. Yeah. All kinds of things like that. So this is happening on Saturday, February 9th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So there's no excuses. There's no school that gets in the way of this. It's right in the middle of the day on a Saturday. And it's in a real theater. There is an admission charge, and you can. It's really low, though. It's really low. I'm not going to give the exact price on the air, but if you go to our webpage, you can see exactly how much it costs. It's as much as any other film. And what we're trying to do is get a lot of people over there because, it'd just be really good to sell out. Well, not in that sense, but sell out the film. To have a crowded theater full of people. So you can buy tickets online by going to this website, www.nyfilmvideo.com. That's www.nyfilmvideo.com. And you can also call 212-777-7100. So we look forward to seeing a lot of BAI listeners and Off the Hook listeners and 2,600 readers all in the same room together. Saturday, February 9th, 2 p.m., Sutton One Theater, 205 East 57th Street by 3rd Avenue. We'll be showing our 2-hour documentary on the Free Kevin movement and the hacker culture. And if you haven't seen it, this is your chance. If you're in New York, that is. And if you're not in New York, this is your chance to make your arrangements to get to New York.
Come to New York. It's a nice city.
It is a nice city. It really is. It's become all the nicer now with the restoration of all the programs on this radio station. So I'm really pretty happy about that. Hey, Bernie, I just got in a car crash. How do you like that?
I hope you weren't distracted by your shortwave radio.
No, I wasn't distracted by the shortwave radio, although it is pretty distracting. No, I was actually... I have the worst history with automobiles. I never do anything that is labeled to be my fault. I always get into accidents when I'm standing still. There was the one time with the garbage truck on... and this is pretty cool, actually. Driving down Avenue A and on A Street. Garbage truck pulls in front of me, literally maybe 6 inches or a foot or something. Goes through a red light while I'm going down Avenue A at about 30 miles an hour. There's no way to avoid this guy. No way. It just pulls right in front, because he's a garbage truck and he can do that. Second to the cops, they can just go through the red lights all the time. So the best I can do is slow down to, keep the airbag from going off and hit him at less than 5 miles an hour. But it took a while to get the insurance claim from that. But that was completely not my fault. The only time I ever was in a moving accident. Other times, though, I've been rear-ended. I even had a tree fall on my car once. This time I'm pulling into my parking space here, going to the radio station, and this nincompoop in a van takes that as his cue to back up, and of course he backs right into me, and so now I've got all kinds of front hood damage. And I was in a really foul mood when I came down here. But my mood brightened when I walked through the doors, which has not been happening lately, Usually the mood gets darker when you walk through these doors. But first of all, you didn't have to open the door. The door was open for me, open door policy again.
We've defeated the high-tech security system with a box of copy paper.
Yeah. Oh, is it a full box?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it has to be to hold the door open like that. But, the security cameras are still there. I don't know if they're operational, but certainly what would help would be, and I'm sure our listeners and maybe some of our technical friends can help with this, let's find somebody who needs a security system, and let's sell it to them, and hopefully make back some of the money that was squandered on it, because that certainly would be a good thing. It's a high-tech system, unlike anything else around here. It's got color cameras, it's got color monitors, it's probably got something that logs all this someplace, and an alarm that goes off if somebody does something wrong. So if you're interested, write to us, oth@2620.com. We'll try to get you more information. Bernie, you must know somebody wants a security system.
Yeah, I just installed one, but if you have something like that professionally installed, it's really, really big bucks.
Mm-hmm.
I was amazed. So the company I work for, I just did it myself. Save a lot of money. But, that system there probably cost probably $10,000 to $20,000, I bet.
Yeah, I would bet about the same thing. And,
just think how $10,000 or $20,000 could have been better used at WBAI.
Yeah. You don't have to think very hard to think of ways it could be better used. Especially on a night like this when the place is filled with listeners and community members and everybody's happy and there's no need for this kind of nonsense. Unlike what's going on in the rest of the world where, it's increased monitoring of everybody, what they do, where they go. Here I think we can keep a sense of openness. At least I sure hope so. But, of course, speaking of the rest of the world, here's a little bit of what's going on in it. This is, I guess, the silliest headline of the week from the San Francisco Chronicle. Airport checks vulnerable to hackers, experts say. Yeah, the airport checks are only hackers.
To hackers.
They've defeated the terrorists. Now it's just the hackers that are left. and listen to this opening paragraph. Terrorist hackers. Yeah, terrorist hackers. Terrorist hackers could exploit.
We knew that was going to come.
That's great, yeah. There's a special type of hacker now, or a special type of terrorist. Terrorist hackers could exploit wireless networks used to check baggage at major airports, including San Jose's. San Jose is not they don't get a free pass from this. No. According to network security experts, so they say that terrorist hackers could do this. However, those same experts are unclear on the extent of the risk because thorough audits of wireless networks at airports have not taken place. And I'm sure those same experts are willing to do those thorough audits for a large amount of money.
Well, if they're in San Jose, they're probably unemployed at the time. So
that's true.
They should do auditing of airports.
The issue is coming to the fore. Actually, the issue already came to the fore. This story came out on Thursday, January 17th, and it was supposed to come to the fore on Friday, January 18th. And that's when all airlines were required to increase measures to prevent bomb-bearing luggage from getting onto airplanes. One acceptable measure, which airport officials said American Airlines will be using, is making sure that each passenger checks in luggage actually boards the plane. I don't know how acceptable that is if somebody wants to blow themselves up with their luggage, but I guess they're happy with it. Some airlines are using a wireless technology standard, you may have heard of this, known as 802.11.b.
Oh, that's a lovely standard.
Yes, to transmit passenger information from the curbside check-in stations to the boarding gates. American is using the technology for such purposes at San Jose's airport. I guess they care about San Jose because they're out there. Hackers have proved the standard to be vulnerable. That makes us terrorists. By exploiting this acknowledged weakness, a terrorist with computer hacking skills could tamper with that information and sneak a bomb onto a plane unaccompanied. And that's according to Thubtin. That's the name of the week. Thubtin Comerford, Chief Executive of White Hat Technologies in Westminster, Colorado. They might be able to have bags assigned to somebody else's luggage, he said. In such a scenario, a terrorist might check in a bag with a bomb inside, then sit in the airport or in a car and use a laptop to break into the airline's baggage system and assign the bag to another passenger before the commercial break. Hackers could also use a wireless network as a stepping stone for breaking into other airline systems, such as the reservation system. That's according to Joe Weiss, Vice President of the Network Applications Division at AirInc, a communications technology firm owned cooperatively by the major airlines. The chance of such a break-in taking place depends on the security measures taken by each individual airline. It does present a passenger risk, Weiss said. In a recent test arranged by Computer World magazine, hackers using wireless laptops at the airport easily tapped into the wireless network used by American Airlines curbside check-in agents at San Jose and Denver international airports. What do you want to bet? They just walked up with a laptop, turned it on, and immediately, like we've demonstrated.
They're terrorist hackers. They can do these things.
Basically, the way it works, you walk out with a laptop with a wireless Ethernet card, and you can go up to universities, you can go to businesses, you can go any place that has this particular network in place transmitting over wireless Ethernet, and you can simply be part of it. It's unencrypted. In fact, they even say that here. The information was not encrypted. According to Jonas Luster, co-founder of Defensive Networks in Campbell, who conducted the San Jose test, and Comerford of Whitehead Technologies conducted the Denver test. So basically, these idiots are running wireless networks without any kind of encryption and expecting people not to be able to access them with laptops. All you have to do, literally, all you have to do is turn on your laptop and immediately it connects. There's
but
no
you would
password,
never
no
do
login.
that unless you were a terrorist hacker.
You can do it by accident. I mean, people do it by accident all the time. They turn on their computer, all of a sudden they're on the internet, they don't know why, because they're close to... If you go to a Starbucks, okay, I'm told this works. Any Starbucks that has wireless Ethernet, a lot of them do, you can stand outside, turn on your laptop, and all of a sudden you're connected to the net via Starbucks. You don't ever have to go in.
That's important.
For me, it is.
Yeah.
It's very important. I've never been in one in my life.
Even more important.
I touched the glass, but that's as far as I went. Sorry, Bernie West?
Even more important is, I feel much safer knowing that there are M16 toting National Guardsmen and women at the airport who can intercept and block these terrorist signals just by standing there with their gun. And that makes me feel much safer personally.
Yeah, well, okay. Anyway, that's the situation with airlines and terrorist hackers.
Or I guess a terrorist could just not get on a connecting flight and, their bag just is on the other plane. I guess that would be too simple.
Here's a bit of interesting news from the New Scientist, dated January 5th, 2002. Volume 173, issue number 2324, page 20. There are various ways to keep encrypted messages private, such as public key cryptography, frequently disposed keys, and one-time pad systems, but these techniques can be complicated, impractical, or overridden by hackers or governmental authority. Harvard computer science professor Michael Rabin is working on a method that ensures absolute secrecy that anyone can use. By tapping into the deluge of data that fills the airwaves, whether delivered by satellite, mobile phone mast, internet, or other source, users can build a key to an impenetrable code. The program would assemble the encryption key out of random bits of data. Furthermore, the transient nature of the data stream makes decoding futile even if someone gets a hold of the key. Rabin envisions satellites that can transmit streams of random bits and is collaborating with electrical engineer Woody Yang to design a broadcast beacon. The professor says the satellite network's enormous setup costs would be fronted by corporations that wish to use the system to hold secure business meetings. The National Security Agency is sure to be unhappy if Rabin's vision comes to pass, notes Brad Templeton of the Electronic Frontier Foundation.
Taking a class with Professor Rabin this semester.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a coincidence. I had no idea. Wow. That's well, you can ask him about that story then.
I will.
I mean, isn't that harboring terrorism to allow private, uncrackable communications to take place?
It could be.
Yeah.
We'll know if halfway through the semester he stops showing up to class. We'll know why.
Yep, that it could be. This is a story that appeared on MSNBC. I believe it appeared today. Cyber gripers take heart. You and your thiscompanysucks.com website have a patron. Free speech lawyer Ed Harvilla, you're not taking a course with him, are you?
No.
Is worried that too many sucks domains have been taken away from owners and given to their target companies. So he and some silent partners have developed a system to dole out sucks websites, and he's giving them away for free. Cyber gripers publish websites with complaints about corporate behavior, often using a creative form of the company's name combined with the word sucks. Harvilla is so worried cyber gripers might become extinct that he is heading a group called the Free Speech Center, which will dole out clever sucks.com variations, such as company.comsucks.net. So basically he registered comsucks.net. I guess that's okay. The backbreaker for Harvilla was a domain name dispute settled by the United Nations World Intellectual Property Organization in November, when the domain VivendiUniversalSucks.com was taken away from Massachusetts resident J. David Sallin. The voice of dissent is essential to be heard on the Internet, Harvilla said. If action is not taken right now, dissent is going to be eliminated. Does anyone have dissentsucks.com?
What's wrong with dissent?
I'm just saying, maybe us dissenters could sue that person and, get that domain back. The Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, which controls the World Wide Web's naming system for reasons nobody understands, set up the domain name dispute resolution system 3 years ago to deal with trademark controversies. Complainers can take their case to one of 3 organizations, but the WIPO has been the most popular so far. In the Vivendi Universal case, this is why they're popular, WIPO ruled that Salin had at one time hinted that he would sell the domain to the company, so he forfeited his argument that the site was protected by free speech rights. Salin, a freelance writer, maintained he planned to use the domain to complain about Vivendi's purchase of book publisher Houghton Mifflin. It's hardly the first time the domain resolution process took a Sucks website away from a protester. The long list of forfeited sites include SalvationArmySucks.com, GuinnessReallySucks.com, WalmartSucks.com, FreeServeSucks.com, and NatWestSucks.com. In each case, WIPO argued that the domain name infringed on corporate trademarks because they were confusingly similar to the company's actual name, and that the original owner wasn't using the site for a legitimate free speech complaint. Often the rulings include evidence that the domain holder was really just holding out for a payoff from the target company, what some feel is a domain name flavor of cyber extortion. WIPO hasn't always ruled against cybergripers. There are some cases where the private domain holder's right on the site was upheld, such as WalmartCanadaSucks.com and LockheedMartinSucks.com. But Michael Geist, law professor at the University of Ottawa, specializing in Internet law, completed a study on domain disputes last year and concluded that companies that bring cases before the dispute board win over 80% of the time. And that's pretty much the grim statistics that we have to live with. And every lawsuit threat we get with one of our Sucks.com sites, we have to deal with this. And fortunately, people continue to exercise free speech. It's just getting a lot harder. It really is. Here's something that I was just blown away by. This. We got this in the mail today. And I think a lot of people experience this. I don't understand why people put up with crap. I really don't. But there's an awful lot of it around, you know, and sometimes you invite it and sometimes you don't. But more often than not, you tolerate it, you know, whether it's crap at home, whether it's crap at school, whether it's crap at work, whether it's crap, you know, here at a radio station, wherever you might happen to be, you tolerate it too much. You let it go on. You don't speak up enough. You don't, get together with other people and put an end to it. Here's a good example. And I'm not, I can't verify all the claims here. So this is something that I would like people to start investigating. This person says, I need some help. My parents live in a community just outside of Pensacola, Florida, across a bridge in Lillian, Alabama. The community is called Spanish Cove. The Cove has a fascist board that has been hassling my mom and dad for months now. The Cove board does not like it when residents make a little money on the side and request that residents pay them a good chunk of their earnings, sort of like a fiefdom. My dad told them his opinion, that such a thing is wrong. Then he started getting death threats and anonymous calls and stuff. The Cove security man gives them tickets all the time for nonsense crap. Well, you know, this kind of thing happens. But the thing that amazes me are the regulations. And this I see all the time. I don't know about the fascism. I don't know about the death threats or the anonymous calls. That's, you know, I don't know if that's official policy. But you get a ticket if you have the wrong color garbage can. That's right. People live in neighborhoods like this where you get a ticket if you have the wrong color trash can.
Do people in your neighborhood have various colors of trash cans? All kinds. Every color of the rainbow is represented. What would you say if your neighbor had a pink trash can?
I wouldn't say anything. I don't speak to my neighbors. They don't speak to me. We leave each other alone, you know. Nobody's violated that yet. You get a ticket if you have a guest over who doesn't get a pass from the office. Can you imagine that? You invite somebody over and they don't get a pass, you get a ticket for that? I've heard of cases where people have their homes inspected to make sure that they're using the right kind of scent in the bathroom. Literally. And people pay extra for this. Bernie, have you heard of things like this?
Well, I would ask why someone signed any contract that would, you know, basically give up their rights to privacy. And I mean, I wouldn't want to live in a place like that, would you?
No, not at all. And that's a good question. Why do people sign contracts with places like this? I mean, maybe it's some crazy sense of acceptance that they want, but these gated, guarded communities seem to be imposing all these. You can't paint your house a certain color; it has to be white or a shade of white or something like that. You have to do everything the same way. You have to get the same kind of phone service. You have to It's horrible. But anyway, this particular one, and I'm not saying that what this person says is true about the fascism and the threats and things like that, but I don't doubt that things are true about the trash can colors and things like that. This is www.spanishcove.org. I'd like to know more about that and other such communities.
Do they have their own inquisitions there?
I don't know. Maybe it's heading towards that. I don't know what the legalities are. I mean, some people, they complain that they can't put up their own satellite dish, a little 18-inch DirecTV dish or whatever. They're not allowed to do that,
However, yes, they are.
They are, exactly.
Under federal law, they're allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that supersedes any sort of community agreement. Because I had to research this once, and as long as where you're putting the dish is an area that's exclusively accessible to you, like your deck or something like that, you may not be allowed to put it up on a roof if that's not an area that's your rented space, the roof. But if you have a roof deck that's like your roof deck, federal law, FCC passed this to encourage competition between satellite, direct broadcast service, and cable. And so you can put that up, and no amount of local legislation or community standards is going to override that. But you still probably get hassled.
Yeah, you get fascism and death threats and things like that. That's not very nice.
Spanish Cove Inquisition.
It's unbelievable. I mean, people voluntarily, we don't have fascism, we don't have enough of it officially. We have to go and make our own. We have to go and create little communities where all kinds of private things are restricted. Unbelievable. Okay, here's an interesting thing. Bernie, I don't know if you can see this, but Mike, you can see it.
Yes.
It's a postcard that we got. It's a picture of the Mona Lisa, and she has big eyebrows and a mustache.
And glasses.
And glasses, yeah. That's right, she doesn't have glasses in the original, does she? When will your website be defaced or worse? Is your website safe from hackers? And then on the other side, this amazing service, which has just started, website content protection software automatically repair hacked websites. Automatically detects any unauthorized changes made to your website, automatically restores your original content, alerts you of the repair via email, and protects Windows, Unix, Linux web servers. Isn't that something?
Basically, amazing.
Yeah, it does what you're supposed to do, keeping a backup and looking at your site for anything that might change, and just fixes it. But you can find out more about that, www.webagain.com. I'd like to know if this is effective.
What's the name of the product?
I guess it's Web Again. Yeah, because you get your web page back again. But I can see this being used in the exact reverse way, where somebody actually fixes their website and reverts back to the hacked version, and they can't stop it because the person has managed to hack the whatever it is that tells them it's legitimate. I mean, that's the first thing that I would imagine somebody would go for. So it's figuring out that system. So I'm sure people will research that for us and let us know how effective it really is. And finally, we have a letter. Dear Off the Hook, I was considering taking copies of Off the Hook shows and burning them to a CD to pass out at my local 2600 meeting. I know you sell CDs on your site, and I also know you're concerned about getting your message out, so I'm not sure how you would feel about this. Please let me know. How do we feel about that?
How do you feel about it?
Oh, I feel fine. I feel great. I mean, as long as people are handing things out and it's information and they're not, like taking credit for things that other people did and making huge amounts of money, like, at other people's expense, that to me, I don't consider that piracy. I feel the same way about music. So it'd be kind of hypocritical to feel that way about information. So, yeah, if the information gets out there, great, spread it around as much as you can. And if you can afford to support us, please do, because supporting us is what keeps us going. And, yeah, you can download all the shows on the net anyway, or you can get them on CD, where we have a few of those left. And hopefully we'll be able to continue doing things like that. Okay, let's take some phone calls. 212-209-2900 is our number. Bernie is with us tonight from Philadelphia. Bernie, any updates from the city of brotherly love?
The barricaded city of brotherly love.
Is it still barricaded?
Well, geez, I forget the name of the darn building. We're Independence Hall, yes, where this Constitution was.
Everybody forgets the name of that
signed.
Building. Yeah.
Mind block. Yes, that's still barricaded. Day and night. They're only allowing structured tours conducted by armed U.S. Federal Park Service officers. And at night, you used to be able to walk right past the building, but now it's barricaded probably 75 feet all around, and can't get close to it.
Independence Hall is barricaded.
Oh, yeah, because, obviously, I asked why, and one of the federal park police told me, well, this is a historical landmark, and it could be a terrorist target. But
I
don't know.
I
think it's silly.
I saw a report. So basically, the shot that we got in our film, we have a shot of Independence Hall. We couldn't get that anymore, I guess, could we?
You'd have to take it from further away.
Wow. I saw a report sometime, I think it was about a week or so ago, that was all about the response to terrorism and how we have to be on guard. They're actually going to force everybody who goes to the official Groundhog Day celebration to go through metal detectors and be searched in case somebody tries a terrorist act against the groundhog. And, at some point you sort of have to say, if the terrorist is going to strike, maybe you want to catch the guy rather than prevent the guy. Who is going to attack a groundhog, for God's sake? What kind of people are we dealing with here? Are we really going to go to the? Are we going to have to barricade our own dog houses, to prevent terrorist acts against dogs? It could happen, I guess. We could go through every possibility in our lives and come up with a way to protect ourselves against any kind of harm. But, I think that just might be a trade-off to our own individual happiness and security. I think it just might backfire.
Emmanuel, I think Punxsutawney Phil, the official groundhog, should be given Secret Service protection.
Why not? He's got the same brain power as a lot of people who already get Secret Service protection, but we don't need to
wait, I don't know of any groundhog who has ever passed out from choking on a pretzel.
And got bruised on both sides of his face somehow.
Yeah, I wonder. I think it must have been a bouncing kind of thing.
I think there's some domestic abuse going on in that household. I really do. I think it's against George W. there because he always emerges every few weeks with new scrapes and bruises and things like that. So either he's extremely clumsy or someone's. Never mind. I won't get into it. But it's just something to think about. 212-209-2900 is our telephone number. We have a full bank of calls here, so let's get to it. Why wouldn't the phone be working?
Well, all the lines.
All lines are working.
Wow.
Well, except for line 3 for some reason.
Okay.
That's probably the one that's tapped. So we'll avoid 3. And let's go over here to, let's try 7. How about that? Good evening. You're on the air.
Yes. Ever since September 11th.
No, 7 is broken. Let's try 8. Good evening. You're on the air. Speak up, please. No, 8 is silent. All right, let's go to 9. Good evening. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay, on that wireless hack, that wireless network hack you're talking about at the airport, I think that will only work if there's a DHCP server running that will give the hacker an IP address on the internal network. I think if they're running, each computer on network has a static IP address, I don't think the hacker's going to get in. Now, some people may say, well, you can guess internal IP addresses based on RFC 1700, but if they're really smart, they can use a Class B subnet, and then they can use any IP address they want that's even out of RFC 1700, and it won't route to the outside. So that's one way that they can protect. Anybody with a wireless network can protect outside people from coming in with just a laptop with a wireless NIC. Does that sound right to you?
It sounds like they should have talked to you before they set this up.
Yeah, well, I've already if you go onto the internet to Google and search for autopsy.txt, you'll find a text file of 2 hacks. One which considered was somebody had gone into the target company, placed a wireless hub on the network. Then a second guy went into the men's room and booted up a laptop with a wireless NIC and got an IP address assigned from the DHCP server. So that's where I heard that. So anybody can go on Google and look for autopsy.txt, try to find that URL and read those 2.
Why is it called autopsy.txt?
I don't know. I guess maybe because it's after the fact. I guess it's a dead issue now. I don't know really. So anyway, that's what I've learned as far as those wireless NICs go.
Be careful searching for that in Google, because you probably come across some real autopsies that are called
Yes, you do. You do. That's correct.
Yeah, so be careful.
You do. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
And also, I'm going to make a plea on the behalf of one of your callers. I think Rebel is okay. He has some good things to say sometimes, so why don't you give him another shot?
Well, okay, I'll tell you what. If Rebel is so okay, he doesn't have to call us 8 times at a time. He doesn't have to call our personal cellular phone numbers.
Okay.
And interfere with the radio program. I mean, we got his phone number when he was doing this.
I didn't know he was doing
that.
But maybe
it's annoying.
Make an agreement where he makes his call like I'm making one call, and that's it. And if he does that, maybe you can all,
Well, I've often made the proposition that if Rebel does not annoy any of us in any way, but with either his constant phone calls, harassing, or just overall ninniness, for a month, 1 month, just one consecutive month, 30 days, and I've made this offer continuously since 1992.
I didn't hear that.
And it has not happened once. So if a month was to go by, and I'll start at any time. Today is January, 21st, 22nd? 22nd. So if we can make it to February 22nd, and I'm not annoyed. And I was just annoyed, but right now I'm not. And if I got annoyed again, then, I will be. So, we'll try that.
Okay, very good. I'm glad to see WBAI back in action. Hope everything is okay over there.
Everything's great.
And good luck.
All right, thank you.
Okay, take care.
It's going to take some vigilance, though. We're going to have to pay attention, because these things, we won a battle. We have we have a much nicer place now. But if you walk away from that and assume it's just going to keep going like this, you're a bigger fool than me. I mean, it's certainly not going to happen that way. You have to constantly work at something to keep it in good shape. And that's what I hope we're accomplishing tonight with the local advisory board meeting, with many of the other meetings that will be taking place this year and in years to come, to keep this radio station and other ones like it going, and hopefully rebuild this network into the promise that it once was. Let's go to line 10. Good evening. You're on the air.
Hey, Emmanuel. This is Fear Free in New Jersey.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. Just thought I'd let you know, I know of another planned community like the one you're talking about. There's one it's called Panther Valley. And of course, they have their big, iron-clad panther sitting out in front for the security booth looking all intimidating, right?
A real panther?
Oh, no, well, it's a statue, a life-size statue of a panther.
Interesting.
It's quite humorous.
Yeah.
When you drive by, it's growling at you.
And I'll bet it's illegal for you to have a real panther in that community.
I don't even know. Don't ask me there. But they have regulations such as cannot have any kind of extremities on your house, like an antenna, no satellite dish. Can't have more than X a number of phone lines.
Oh, my goodness.
You have to have, because in that particular town, you can choose your cable company, and you can only have Cablevision cable.
Ooh.
Because they don't like some of the options that Comcast gives you.
Like what?
I don't know. They offer some porn channels they don't agree with or something. I don't even know. But one good thing is they give you broadband in everybody's house. They have like a T3 for the whole community, which is the only good thing. But bottom line is they have so many restrictions on everybody that it's crazy. You can't, if you have a loud muffler on your car, they'll give you a ticket, for disturbing the peace. And it's just such garbage. I mean, they can give you tickets for anything. Of course, the normal not picking up after your dog, that kind of stuff. But it's bizarre. I mean, the guys are like around looking for it. It's crazy.
Well, I've heard of cases where you have to have a certain type of grass on your front lawn, for instance.
I mean, there's stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can't have certain plants. There's a laundry list, because I have a friend who lives there. There's just a laundry list of stuff that they lay out.
See, I just don't understand why. What are you gaining from this?
I guess people want the sealed atmosphere. They want the just the whole control of it. So that no evildoers, as our nice president would say, are going to get in.
But it used to be enough just to build a fence.
Of course, you have a barcode on your window that they scan when they go in to make sure that only residents enter.
Great.
It's great.
They'll implant a chip into people so that when they walk in,
who knows?
Yeah.
But also, have you heard about the new Apple stores that they're building?
New Apple stores? No.
If you go on the Apple's website, they're opening Apple stores again. Because remember, they did it back in the 80s.
Okay.
Jobs thought it was such a great idea, and it failed miserably. Well, there's one opening in downtown, hopefully still, after all the stuff on the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
But there is one in Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey, in Bergen County. And they have airports set up in the store. And there's a cafe right next door.
Okay.
And I've been told by people who live around there, and I have yet to try it, that you can get wireless Ethernet access, wireless Internet access from the cafe next door to the Apple Store. It's very interesting because they're putting up these stores all over the place.
Is there always a cafe next door?
Well, no, but in this particular location, and I would guess that it would work the same if you were downtown right outside the window.
Uh-huh.
So it'll be interesting to see when that store goes in, see if they have any problems with that.
No, I'm sure they'll know pretty quickly.
So that's pretty much it.
All right,
I'll let somebody else get on, and Rebel sucks.
Okay, well, we don't want to get into a personal battle here, but
it's a little late for that.
So far, 5 minutes, I haven't been annoyed by him. So if we can keep it up for another month or month minus 5 minutes, who knows? Anything's possible, I guess. Good evening. You're on the air.
Emmanuel, how's it going? It's Alex.
Hey, how you doing?
Not bad. How's it going over there?
Oh, it's going good. Going good.
Yeah. Remember that 1 year? One year ago?
Oh, we just remembered it before, and we were looking ahead into the future.
That's pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It is incredible.
What's on your mind?
I just wanted to say, remember I told you a while back Verizon was trying to sue me for printing up their logo on T-shirts with Cafe Press. It turns out that I don't think they're going to sue me anymore, but I've had some people redesign Verizon's logo, so I wanted to send a call out. If anybody wanted to go to VerizonEatsPoop.com and try to redesign Verizon's logo in a way that
doesn't offend them. Yes.
Exactly.
Well, it will offend them, but doesn't offend them in a trademark type of a way.
Yeah, but this is the type of thing that they're throwing around now. I mean, they don't just institute any kind of frivolous lawsuit to scare you out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, and most times that's exactly what the effect is. It's a lot to expect people to be able to stand up to that kind of corporate might when they come after you with lawyers and things like that. It's not easy. I mean, people think that we live for this kind of thing, and we do to a degree, but it's frightening when that kind of stuff happens. So yeah, individual people and people in high school and places like that. I can't imagine the kind of pressure that they would be under, especially from parents and teachers and things like that. So I don't blame people for caving in when they have to, but at least make it so that you're challenging for a little while anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to take this to federal court and fight it, I could be liable for tens of thousands of dollars in statutory damages, plus the cost of their attorney's fees. And the lawsuit is frivolous. I mean, it goes against everything trademark law actually stands for. Mm-hmm. It's a total misuse of it. But,
well, that's why public education is important. If you can't win in court, at least you can get the public to understand what's going on.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So how do people get information on this?
They can go to VerizonEatsPoop.com, which you're also mirroring as VerizonReallySucks.com.
Yeah, forwards.
And there's also the F word, Verizon.com as well. I don't know who. I don't know who owns that, but somebody owns it. I think you might.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I don't know.
No idea.
Maybe it's possible, but
I don't know. But in other good news, though...
Must have been in a bad mood that day.
Yeah, in other good news, you'll probably be happy. I've been elected to the board of directors for the New York Civil Liberties Union Suffolk chapter.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
That's great.
So we're hoping...
So you're going to bring civil liberties to Suffolk County?
I hope so. They need to be there.
It's about time.
Congratulations.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, yeah, we'll hopefully be taking up some Internet-related issues. And, we'll see. We'll see where it goes in the next year.
So if you're in Suffolk County and you're interested in civil liberties, where should people go?
Well, I'm in the middle of designing a website right now, so I'll give it out maybe next week.
Okay.
But they can email me, alex@2600.com. That's probably the best way to get in touch
Sounds
with me.
good. Hey, good hearing from you again.
All right. I'll talk to you soon, Emmanuel.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Let's try to fit in one more phone call. Let's go all the way down to line 12. We haven't been down here since last October. Let's see if it still works. Good evening. You're on the air.
Yes, hello?
How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm just trying to find out a website that will give my previous show. How would I get to it?
You'd have to listen to the previous show or go to their website, which I believe is expertwitnessradio.com. Failing that, just listen to the Expert Witness again next week at this time, or at that time, which is 7 to 8 o'clock. We're 8 to 9 o'clock. So let's go up to line 1 and see if anybody's there. That'll be our last call. Good evening. You're on the air.
Hi there.
How you doing?
Things in New York.
Pretty good. Where in the world are you?
I'm in Edmonton, where it's cold.
Wow, you sound like a computer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on a cell phone.
No, but you actually do sound like a computer. I don't know how you're doing this, but your voice, you sound like one of those, Stephen Hawking type things.
I see. I'll have to tell the clone that.
No, it's a good talent to have. If you can keep that up, that's great. All the more power to you. So you're in Edmonton, Alberta, eh?
Yes, I am.
Wow, great place. I've never been there, but I hear it's good.
Well, you're told by a good person there.
I'm sorry about the Oilers.
Oh, that's not. I don't even care about that.
Okay, all right. Just in case you did. We're in the last minute, basically, so what's on your mind?
Okay, I was just wondering about, when it comes to Verizon, and Sprint, how many phones from Nokia did Sprint lock into its service such that Verizon would declare the 6185 untouchable?
Bernie, do you know the answer to this?
Well, I don't know the exact number of phones or models, but they can, these carriers, back in the old days we got a minute. Back in the old days, you could buy any handset and have it registered with any carrier. Now, the carriers basically lock the firmware on the phones. You can only use it with that carrier. There are handsets out there that will work on both Verizon. They're dual-band handsets. It'll work both on Verizon's 800 megahertz CDMA network and Sprint's 1900 megahertz CDMA network, except both carriers lock the firmware, so you can't do that.
Last 20 seconds, Bernie.
That's it.
Okay. I hope that helps to answer your question.
I understand the meaning behind that, but I'm just wondering how many phones did Sprint actually lock?
All of them.
All of them?
Yes. Sprint will not...
Okay, well, I'm glad I got an unlocked one, and it activates on Verizon when I travel in the U.S.
You are fortunate.
Yeah, you are pretty fortunate.
It's supposed to be all locked.
But unfortunately, for us, we're out of time. If you want to continue this discussion, you can email us, oth@2600.com. And you can also email us for all kinds of other commentary, critiques, compliments, that kind of thing. We have a fundraiser coming up. I'm not sure if it's going to be beginning next week. We're ironing that out right now. So stay tuned to the radio station. In general, just because there's all kinds of really good programs that are on these airwaves now. And you'll learn quite a bit at the same time. So hopefully we'll be back next week. And we might be fundraising, we might not. And we'll give you details as we know them. So this is Emmanuel Goldstein for everybody else. Have yourselves a good night.